It is time to touch our bags and drop our sacks on this mailbag edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. You got questions. I got answers. I've already taken a look at the mailbag, and it's interesting. You guys this week are talking about some potential former Huskies from Washington making a return to the city of Seattle playing for the Hawks, like Vita Vea, Taylor Rapp. We'll talk about those. And we'll answer whatever question you guys got here on today's show. So let's not wait a second more to get started. We begin with a $5 super chat from Mike Kraft, who writes in, do you think Woolen will step up big this year? I mean, he better. It's a contract year for him. We've seen him play really good. We've seen him play not so good. A lot of peaks and valleys. He's got a lot to prove. He wants to get paid. I would like to see him here for a long time, but we need to see more consistency from him. The defense around him is going to be the best that he's ever played with. So, yeah, I think he will step up, but only time will tell. We don't know until we know, but I feel pretty optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic when it comes to Rick Woolen in 2025. Ryan writes in, what are your thoughts on Spoon being named to the top 50? It's well-deserved. I think that even though he's only been in the league a couple of years now, he has been really, really good. And, I mean, you look at it, what he's done to hold that nickel spot, already becoming one of the leaders of this defense as well. The sky's the limit for Devin Witherspoon. The guy's just now getting started, and I can't wait to see what he does going forward from here. I'm very pleased with him, and I think it's well-deserved, and I think that he's going to have a very bright future ahead. Thanks for the $2 super chat, Ryan. Dan the Man Miller with a $10 super chat writes in. So is this signing, talking about the recent signing of Shaq Griffin, that is, a sign that we are starting to get our needs taken care of, or is this the only signing we'll see till the trade deadline? So, Dan, by the way, the timing of this is Wednesday, shortly after the news came out of this deal. And so at the time you're watching this, they very well could have made a move or two by now. But I will say this, I do think it's kind of the start of getting the ball rolling on things. Because if you looked at this defense prior to this week, there was two obvious things that Seattle had their focus on. And they were the corner spot and the edge rusher position. And now you've taken care of the corner spot. Mike McDonald made it no secret a few weeks ago that he was looking for competition for Josh Jobe, that he felt they couldn't have too many corners. So now you've checked that box by bringing in Shaq Griffin. And at the time of this recording, Trey Hendrickson is still available. There's plenty of edge rushers out there. Maybe that's what they go to next, potentially. But they have plenty of cap space to their disposal. Maybe the offensive guard spot potentially gets some more help. I think they might wait a little bit till training camp to see how Bradford and Haynes come along here. But I would be surprised if they're done until the season begins. I think that there could still be another move potentially on the way before we know what this roster fully entails. But, Dan, I feel pretty good that there's more moves on the way. Big move coming. We'll see what that is. Folks, want to make sure not only you're subscribed to Seattle Seahawks Today, but you're part of what we call the Nudity Gang around here. That is the folks that are subscribed to the channel that have their notifications turned on. They're the first to know when we have new content. So let's go back to Wednesday, for example. And the news comes out from Jordan Schultz that Shaq Griffin had signed. We put out a YouTube short immediately. We put out a video on the channel within the hour of the news breaking. And if you were subscribed and had your notifications turned on, you were the first to see when we had that breaking news content here. So if you missed out on that, no need to fear. There's still time, folks. You don't want to miss out the next time we have breaking news or need to know when we have a live show or new videos in the channel. Subscribe and turn on notifications. If you're part of what we call the Nudity Gang around here, those that have their notifications turned on, spam Nudity Gang in the comment section. Subscribe now. Hit that Nudity bell. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Let's get at least 20 subs off today's video. Xander writes in, I love that we brought Shaq back. How do you see McDonald using him? I think he starts at outside corner. I feel like that he's better than Josh Jobe. I think that he'll earn that job. And even if Josh Jobs somehow ends up being the starter, I think that that's a good sign of where things are at with these two competing for that role. Iron sharpens iron, and, I think that either way, you're in a good spot for the other one being the backup and, being behind each other or potentially having to fill in for Witherspoon or Rick Woolen here. You feel a lot better about your corner room with this, and that you have some real depth pieces. So that's how I see it going for Shaq, that he starts at outside corner, probably on the left side with Reek on the right side. I still think he's very good. His numbers the past couple of seasons have been solid. Maybe he's not the Pro Bowl corner that he was in 2019, but I still think he's a good player. I like the move. Indiana Jones writing in, could you see the Seahawks bring home former Husky star Vita Vea? Vita Vea is a fine football player. He's had a really good career in the National Football League with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And his last 4 seasons with the Bucs have been rock solid. 7 sacks last year, 5.5 the year prior, 6.5 and 4 sacks. Plenty of QB hits and everything. As much as I would like Vita to make a homecoming, to return to Seattle, I just don't really see that in the cards right now. I think Seattle's got bigger fish to fry, bigger needs to address, and they're feeling pretty good about where the defensive line is at. I think Byron Murphy has a bright future. I think Leonard Williams is the most underrated player on defense in the entire league, and then Jaron Reed's not too bad either. But Vita Vea, it would be one of those things where it'd be a luxury, not a necessity to bring him in, and I haven't seen any reason why the Bucs think that they're going to move on from Vita Vea. What do you guys think? Should the Seahawks trade for Vita Vea potentially? Type T for trade, P for pass. Put your GM hat on. Let us know if you think they should make a move for him or not. Chime in the comment section below. Gingerbread Man. He's the real one. He loves him some Sam Darnold. We call Sam Darnold the Gingerbread Man around here. I love the idea of having Trey Hendrickson part of this defense this year, but I feel it could be a mistake at the expense of sending one of our growing pass rushers away. So let me give you a possibility here, Gingerbread Man. I think that if Trey Hendrickson comes in, that your odd man out would not be Boye Mafe or Derek Hall. Certainly not DeMarcus Lawrence. I think it'd be Uchenna Nwosu would be the odd man out in the equation. Whether they trade him or he moves to a backup role, I'm not worried about Derek Hall and Boye Mafe. You can never, Gingerbread Man, how many times do I have to say this? I've said this plenty of times in this show, and I'll continue to reiterate. You can never have too many pass rushers. And I believe that Trey Hendrickson would be a huge asset, and I don't think you have to sign him to a 4 or 5 year deal. I think it's looking at 2 or 3. You got the franchise tag there as well. I think there'd be a whole lot more good than bad. Don't worry about those young guys. Trey Hendrickson is only going to make them better. I wouldn't be concerned at all one bit. And you could ship off Uchenna and go get another draft pick or something potentially, especially if you're going to have to give up assets to bring in Hendrickson. Achilles writes in, I got another former Husky. What about Taylor Rapp returning to Seattle? Taylor Rapp of the Buffalo Bills. Another fine football player that played for Washington. A homecoming for him would be interesting. He spent some time, of course, with the Rams, most recently with Buffalo. 2021 had 4 interceptions. 2022 had 2. 2023 had 1. 2024 had 2 interceptions. He's been quite the playmaker. He's had a very fine career. But I look at this safety spot, and I think Seattle's in really good shape. I don't think there's a need for Taylor Rapp. Nick Eamon-Warry, I think, has got superstar potential, and he's not even a starter right now. Kobe Bryant had a breakout season last year. Julian Love's a Pro Bowler. Had they not drafted Nick Eamon-Warry, maybe that could be a possibility. But Buffalo's all in. They think they're a Super Bowl contending team. I don't know why they would want to get rid of Taylor Rapp either, but who knows. Should the Seahawks trade for Taylor Rapp? Be honest with me. What do you think? Type Y for yes, in for no. If that is within the realm of possibility, what do you guys think about that idea? Weigh in and tell us in the comments section. Coach Dreadhead, all right again. How much do you think Milroe will play this season, but not at quarterback? That's a very good question, Coach Redhead. And I think that we've heard Mike McDonald say pretty loud and clear that he is a quarterback. They don't plan to use him outside of the quarterback position. You're not going to see him line up at H-back or tight end or anything like that. I think that he plays 8 to 10% of the snaps at the quarterback spot. Maybe he lines up in the backfield with Darnold as a decoy potentially. But the focus is completely on him being a quarterback and to use his skill set as a QB accordingly. So I don't think you're going to see much of that at all. But I do think that Milroe will see the field a significant amount. Tice writes in, how do you think Kupp will fit into the Seahawks offense? I think he'll fit in great. There's a lot of things I like about Cooper Kupp. When it comes to his pass-catching ability in the slot, he's also an excellent blocker. I think all those things are really good for him. The main thing is just going to be him staying healthy. I need him to play at least 12 games. If he can play 12 games, then that's a difference maker for this offense. I think that's the key. Ilona with the last question. I have the Seattle Seahawks going 12-5, winning the West. Hopefully we will not get embarrassed at home. Let's improve from last year's disaster, losing the home field advantage. Go Hawks. Fans, I know you're watching, clearly. Got to show up. Got to show up. Can't let opposing teams take over the stadium. 12-5 would be nice. I think 11-6 is more realistic. But the way our Madden season's gone, maybe 12-5 is not out of the realm of possibility potentially, Ilona. We'll see. Appreciate you joining us here on this mailbag edition of Seahawks Today from our live show. Subscribe now for free. Turn on notifications. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.